name is Jesse Easter. I've been downtown in the Arts District since about 1981. I first moved into a loft on 3rd and Broadway. Was above the Victor Clothing Building, or in the Victor Clothing Building above the bridal shop. And Andy Wilf was the artist who had recently passed away and was considered by LACMA as the Artist of the Year, the new Young Artist of the Year. So it was a killer loft. I mean, like an Andy Warhol level loft. It was, giant with a loft built in and a kitchen, and we had bands play there and people come for events. It was great. Then I moved to the American Hotel. But the way I came to downtown was through a friend that I knew in Berkeley, at UC Berkeley in the late 60s. In 69, I was there for all the anti-Vietnam War demonstrations in People's Park and Patty Hearst. That whole thing happened. And when I was up there, I became good friends with a guy from LA named Frederick Abrams, who was a stained glass artist who told me of the downtown LA art scene that was springing up in the early 80s. So I moved into the loft that he had initially rented above in the Victor Clothing Building on the High Performance top floor. High Performance Art was a magazine that portrayed all the performance artists, Paul McCarthy, you name it. Anyway, when I came from there, I went to the American Hotel, and the American Hotel is where I still live, and that was 1982, and it was crazy. My rent was $250 a month. All the people in the hotel were either musicians, actors, people in film, poets, writers, and drifters, and it was just wild and woolly. And down below was Al's Bar. And Al's Bar was like the punk rock capital for bands to play. So bands from all over the Southland came there. And on any given night, there would be lines of people all the way around the block, and to see the best bands. Later, Nirvana played there, but every kind of act that you could imagine, every punk rock group, X, the Blasters, you name it, played there. And because I was in the hotel, I got to see every show for free. So that was a nice little incentive too. And I'm a musician, so I had my own band called the Devil Dogs. Although I had come off of a 13-piece roots reggae group that I put together, because prior to that I had been in a reggae group with guys from the Caribbean that was called the Babylon Warriors. I played the South Central reggae club scene, and then in 1980, that's when I met Terry Ellsworth, who was the resident art installer at Art Share. And we were living in Santa Monica. And I got him back into surfing. Terry always had a great time in the water, and it ended up that we were in 15 to 20 foot surf up by Morro Bay with his brother, and Terry was catching what I saw 12 to 15 foot waves with his boogie board. So it was insane, and I caught my first and only 20-foot face there that was validated by his brother Preston, who saw it, who I talked to recently, and I said, dude, was it really a 20-foot face? He goes, for sure. He goes, if not bigger, for sure it was. And I went, yeah, I thought so too. So I told Terry I was moving downtown, and that's when I came to that loft at High Performance. And then when I came to Al's Bar, I said, really, Terry, you got to come down and check out Al's Bar and the whole scene. And he goes, why would I want to go to Skid Row? And I go, it's not like that. It's a completely different zone. It's just like there's artists, and it seems like there's something going on. Now, it wasn't called the Artist District. It was just full of artists because of the rent, so cheap, and because it just had ended up that this was the spot. So he finally came down and he went, wow, I love it. And I got him a room in the hotel, and I got him a job at an art installation company, and they, you know, I helped and they helped, and we taught him how to install, and he went on to do great things. Terry was like two things. He was a real intellectual and Renaissance man, and then physically, he ended up being a waterman, being a really great in the ocean. And that kept his body good, and then his love for literature and film kept his mind good. And he was super bright. I thought I knew a lot about film noir, Out of the Past, Double Indemnity, Crisscross, The Setup, and he knew more. I mean, he would know what date the film was and the director. So I was going, this guy's cool. Terry really flourished in the neighborhood. The first thing, everybody started realizing this guy is really into film, and I mean, like, not just the classic, but like, you know, Beach Babes from Space, Frankenstein and Dracula Go to Palm Springs, these offbeat films. So he got the moniker TV Terry. Everybody knew him as TV Terry, and he brought his TV set downstairs on every Friday night to show films on the sidewalk, and it was really cool. You know, he had a heart transplant at 54, and he almost died. He was like 300 on the list, and the only reason he got the transplant is because they have a clause that says if the patient's going to die, he gets the next available heart. And there was a 16-year-old on New Year's Eve, 16-year-old kid who died driving too fast, and he had donated his organs, so Terry got a fresh 16-year-old heart and lived for 20 more years, and smoked every day. And I'm thinking, what are you doing, man? And you know, it caught up to him, and he had throat cancer. So, but I maintain that if you ask Terry, if you could rewind it, you could live for maybe 10 or 15 more years without smoking pot, without smoking cigarettes, or go with what you did and you'll be gone at 74. He would have said, I'll take the pot and the cigarettes, thank you. So that was Terry. But and he was like a little Jimmy Cagney. And I want to give a shout out because this will probably be seen by his niece Olivia and his brother Preston, two great people that love Terry just as much as I did, more. So I call this Featherbrain Revisited.